Reproductive system is a topic which is not new for you all. You all have studied being students in biology, and if you have to recollect the basics of reproductive system that we study and the structure first we would be studying, and then the physiological parts also. But before I start the discussion on it, as you are biology students and also as you all have already joined a profession which involves taking care of patients of both the genders, I would expect not uh, being reluctant about studying it or being hesitant about asking doubts or anything, because usually I found students find it difficult when such topics are being discussed. But you all will be taking care of both male and female patients, so keeping in mind your nursing aspects, be sensitive to the topic that is being taken. Okay, so no unnecessary hoo-ha about it, but take it in a proper sense. So starting with the first system in your reproductive system, we'll be dealing with the female reproductive system. Okay, diagrams are familiar, I believe. But before we start with the female reproductive system itself, y'all would have learned about reproduction. So, what is reproduction? What is the concept of reproduction?
Ma'am,
Ah,
reproduction is a biological process by which new individual organisms are reproduced.
very good. है ना? So it's the process by which you are able to see that each organism is able to reproduce its own kind. है ना? Only we see in man and higher animals that there are two genders involved. Otherwise, if you remember amoeba, if I have to talk about microorganisms and all, there is no mention of their need of two genders being there, but it is in man and animals of higher order where we find that the two genders are involved. You know? So when we see structurally and functionally also, the reproductive organs of males and females are different. You know? Both are different, and we will be seeing how the structure is different, and also the physiology. The female reproductive system, first to start with, the female sex organs are classified mainly. We'll be following your textbook content also, students, so you can keep that content also for reference. So when we talk about female reproductive organs, you know, when we talk about female reproductive organs, the external genitalia, if you see this diagram here, right, this external genitalia of a female, and then the internal organs, like how you saw in this, the internal organs, both are being classified separately. So first let us go by the sequence given in your textbooks. You can see female reproductive system. In female reproductive system, the diagram is given of external genitalia. Here also we will first discuss about the external genitalia. So in external genitalia, the major areas, first we'll just see the labelings and then we'll go into details of it. Okay, तो labelings जो है external genitalia में, this you are seeing the mons pubis, then besides that, okay, so mons pubis यहाँ पे labeled है, then outer is labia majora, है ना, labia majora, and then inner side is labeled labia minora, right? And here clitoris has been labeled, right? And then besides that, the vestibules of vagina. In your textbooks there is also mention of vestibule of vagina, so it is in these areas that you would find it, the bulb of the vestibule and the greater vestibular glands. Okay, so when we talk about external organs, the major ones that has been mentioned, so female reproductive organ के साथ में we also need to know that this is the vaginal opening and this is the urethral orifice. तो urethral orifice कहाँ से connect होता है students? Urethral orifice yes, urethral orifice कहाँ से connected है ये? Okay, you are waiting to be called roll number wise. 1 minute. I'll just take it. Okay. Yogita Sharma. Yogita Sharma is there?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ. So Yogita, जब हम कह रहे हैं कि यूरेथ्रल ऑरिफिस है, तो क्या ये रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन का पार्ट है जो यहाँ पर लेबल हुआ है? Yes. Urinary system you all have already studied. योगिता?
No, ma'am.
अच्छा, 12th स्टैंडर्ड में यूरिनरी सिस्टम नहीं पढ़ा बेटा?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, तो यूरेथ्रल ऑरिफिस की यहाँ जो बात हो रही है, इसका यूरिनरी सिस्टम के साथ कंटिन्यूएशन है ना? ये जो है ये यूरिनरी ब्लैडर, फिर यूरेटर, किडनी, वो जो स्ट्रक्चर्स आपने सीखे हैं उसका ओपनिंग यहाँ पे है जहाँ से यूरिन void out होता है ना? Remaining structures we have understood. This is mons pubis. Here just above here it is the clitoris, labia minora, labia majora. Anus is here. It's again not a part of the female external genitalia, but always when we study anatomy, I mentioned to you we need to know in relation to other parts that are present. So anus is a part of what? Which system? Tina Sharma. Tina Sharma is there?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, तो जब हम एनस की बात कर रहे हैं तो क्या ये फीमेल एक्सटर्नल जेनेटेलिया का पार्ट है जो यहाँ पे हमने इसे लेबल किया है, और इज इट पार्ट ऑफ सम अदर सिस्टम? Answers have to be very easy, right? Learned about digestive system?
मैम डाइजेस्टिव
Yes,
सिस्टम का पार्ट है।
हाँ, डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम में आपने पढ़ा है ना, पूरा जब एसिमिलेशन सब हो जाता है उसके बाद में फीकल मैटर इज voided out, removed out from the anus, है ना? So this is just the external structure we are seeing. Now let us go into detail of external genitalia one by one. The female external genital organs together is known as vulva. Okay, the external genital organs, whatever is seen outside is called vulva. Okay, and or other word that is used is pudendum. Pudendum, pudendum. So going one by one the structures, The first structure is mons pubis. Here mons word actually stands for mountain. Okay, mountain, why? Because these are the areas that is elevated, so it is called mountain. It is a round fatty elevation. This area is a round fatty elevation situated. Where is it situated? Anterior to the pubic symphysis. आप लोगों ने जो pelvic bone पढ़ा है, pelvic bone में you all know that this particular two bones from in front ना pelvic area से जो आगे की तरफ को है, that is the pubic symphysis. When both the bones are coming together, right? Pelvic bones के जो दोनों side से एक साथ आते हैं, तो उसके सामने है ये part mons pubis. So next about the description, it consists mainly of a pad of fat deep to the skin. Okay, now the mons pubis becomes covered with coarse pubic hair. So as a girl child attains puberty, that means her reproductive organ starts maturing, what happens? All these areas start getting coarse hair. Okay, coarse pubic hair means it is comparatively thick hair that is coming up there. Now the typical female distribution of pubic hair has a horizontal upper limit. So here it won't be that it is just spreading upwards. This will be the maximum limit till where the hair would be there in females. Okay, so that is major things that you have to describe about the mons pubis. Mons pubis, the word is denoting mountain, or because there's a fatty elevation here because of a pad of fat. And relation, if you have to describe, it is anterior to the pubic symphysis. Then on this, when as the girl attains puberty, there are hair growths over this, gradually becoming coarse in nature. It's not fine hair, coarse hair is there, and it's not that like males it would get distributed all towards. No, it has a horizontal upper limit where it stops. Then next in the female reproductive system, what is the next part that we have to describe?
Labia majora.
Labia majora.
Right. So next that we are going to see is labia majora. Labia majora, so the word itself you can understand. Labia stands for lip. Okay, labia word stands for lip, and majora word, it stands for large, major, right? So major actually denotes large, labia stands for lips. And here as you see, if we have to just label one side, on a singular side it will be called labium majus. Okay, that means here when I'm talking about the labia here and here, I say labia majora. But if suppose there is some lesion here or some skin growth here which has to be described by you, then you would say that on this left side labium majus. Okay, that, or right side labium majus. So that is the singular word that is used. Now what, how you would describe it, how you would describe labia majora is, they are two symmetrical fold of skin. Okay, symmetrical folds of skin. Here we said it's a padding that is there, here there is fold of skin that we are mentioning, and these two are symmetrical. That means yahan hai and this side also in equal pattern it is there, right? And it protects the urethral and the vaginal openings. So labia majora का function क्या है हम इसमें समझ सकते हैं. These foldings are actually protecting the urethral and the vaginal openings. Okay. Now each labium majus passes posteriorly from the mons pubis to about 2.5 centimeter anterior to the anus. Now see, when you are talking about the extent to which it is there, so here you can see posteriorly from the mons pubis, यहाँ पे mons pubis खत्म होता है, उसके बाद से यहाँ start हो रहा है and till here, है ना? And if you see in relation to anus, almost 2.5 centimeter anterior to the anus. Okay, if anus is here, at least 2.5 centimeter ऊपर तक में ये इसका जो extent है ये खत्म हो जाता है. Okay, the labia majora meet anteriorly at the anterior labial commissure. So let us see in your textbook diagram also, it is very well mentioned. The labium majora, that means the labium majus from this side and the labium majus from this side, both will meet here. Okay, meet here anteriorly. Anteriorly it meets at the anterior labial commissure. So this is the place where it comes together. That is the anterior labial commissure. You've got it in your textbook diagram?
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? External genitalia के उसमें it has been clearly labeled out. Posteriorly when we talk about it, they don't meet. The labium majus here and the labium majus here, they don't come and meet here. Okay, what happens to them? What happens to them if it is not meeting? What happens to them?
A transfer, ma'am, transfer skin fold.
So that means it comes and it diffuses here. It comes and diffuses here with the skin here, and then you have transverse skin fold here, right? A skin fold here that would be called the posterior commissure that passes between them. The thin outer surface of labia majora again is covered with hair. Okay, so here also and here also it is covered with hair, and inner surface has large sebaceous glands. Okay, so inner surface of it has large sebaceous glands in inner surface, and here it is covered by hair. Okay, so we have completed mons pubis, we have completed labia majora. Let's see further now. Labia majora to complete हो गया, mons हो गया. What is the next structure?
Labia
Labia
minor.
हाँ, यहाँ पर ये जो inner part आप देख रहे हो, right? This you are seeing is the labia minora. Now again, labia stands for Suman. Suman Yadav is there. Labia stands for Suman. She's not there. Shivani Yadav. Shivani Yadav. Shaili Singh.
Ma'am, labium means lips.
Who is answering? Shaili.
Yes.
So labia stands for lips, and minor, we know it is standing for
short.
Small, है ना? So small lips. And if you have to say about some infection here or some cut here, then you would say labium minus. Okay, you will call it as labium minus. Each singular one will be called labium minus. Now let us understand about this part of the external genitalia. They are thin, delicate folds, very thin compared to your majora. Yes, it is thin, delicate fold, and it is fat free and hairless skin. So there is no fat like how it was described in Mons, nor there is hair growth on this area, right? So next thing, they have many sensory nerve endings. These minora, as now we have seen nervous system, now you'll be able to relate. This part has many sensory nerve endings. Okay. Next, the labia minora meet just superior to the clitoris to form a fold of skin called the prepuce or clitoral hood. So now let us see where it is forming the structure here. यहाँ पर आप ये जो देख रहे हो, this comes forward, क्लाइटोरस के ऊपर से ये ऐसा ये फोल्ड जुड़ता है, ठीक है। जहां पर लेबिया मजोरा एक दूसरे से जुड़ते हैं, व्हाट इज इट कॉल्ड? Labia majora joins with each other anteriorly at, okay, you are waiting for me to call the
Anterior
first.
labial commissure.
Anterior labial commissure.
एंटीरियर लेबियल कमिशर है ना। अब एंटीरियर लेबियल कमिशर के ही नीचे देखो यहाँ पे प्रेपुस, यू कैन सी द प्रेपुस हियर. दिस इज द प्लेस वेयर द लेबियम माइनोरा मीट्स and it is just superior to the clitoral head, है ना. You can call it as clitoral hood. So forms a fold of skin called the prepuce or clitoral hood. This is the area. Why we are calling it like a hood? See, clitoris है, उसके ऊपर एक hood जैसा एक ना टोपा जैसा स्ट्रक्चर ये बन जाता है. So that is the labia minora. Then posteriorly they unite forming the frenulum of labia minora. Okay, it is frequently torn during childbirth. So posteriorly, even though the labelings here is, it's not given specifically, but यहाँ जो ये एरिया है, ये यहाँ पर पोस्टीरियर एंड में ये जुड़ते हैं एक दूसरे से, ठीक है. मीट just posteriorly they unite forming frenulum of the labia minora. Okay, and when there is childbirth, at times this is torn. Okay, this part is torn. Next is the vestibule of the vagina. Now let us see where is the vestibule of the vagina. In your textbook diagrams it is mentioned only vaginal introitus and there is a mention of hymen. Two things have been mentioned here, right? And vestibule of the vagina, let us see. It is the space between the labia minora. It is the space between the labia minora. So this area you would call the vestibule or anterior chamber of the vagina. Okay, it's the space between the two labia minora. Then the urethra, the vagina and the ducts of the great vestibular glands open into the vestibule. तो यह एरिया में क्या क्या है आप देखो, यहाँ पे यूरेथ्रा है, the vagina itself is there, and the various ducts of the great vestibular glands. We will understand what is great vestibular glands. So all this is present in this area. You can see the urethral orifice. Here is the vaginal opening, है ना, vagina करके यहाँ पे label है. Plus what else is there? There is a great vestibular gland. We'll see what it is in the further explanation. Now, the external urethral orifice is a median opening located 2 to 3 centimeter posterior to the clitoris. ठीक है, यहाँ clitoris है, clitoris से 2 to 3 centimeter posterior down to the clitoris and immediately anterior to the vaginal orifice. Posterior to the next person, Sarika. Sarika is there. Sarika. Sarika not there. Rinki.
Yes, ma'am.
Rinki, now when you talk about the urethral orifice, इसका जो रिलेशन क्लाइटोरस और वेजाइना के साथ जब डिस्क्राइब करना है तो यूरेथ्रल ऑरिफिस इज अ मीडियन ओपनिंग. मीडियन ओपनिंग मींस बिल्कुल सेंटर में है ना, मीडियन ओपनिंग 2 to 3 सेंटीमीटर पोस्टीरियर टू व्हाट?
क्लाइटोरिस.
हाँ, है ना, क्लाइटोरस से पीछे की तरफ पोस्टीरियरली यहाँ पर ये प्रेजेंट है. And the next thing we saw that when we relate it with the vaginal opening, it is immediately, है ना, immediately anterior to the vaginal orifice. Now,
Orifice.
good. The vaginal orifice is a large opening located posterior and inferior to the urethral orifice. So now, if vaginal orifice has to be described, it is compared to this urethral orifice, it is a large opening, है ना? It is a large opening and it is just posterior and inferior. Posterior to the urethral orifice and inferior इसलिए बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि body के relation में जब कहते हैं it is towards the lower side, ना? तो it is posterior to the vaginal orifice. Is posterior to the urethral orifice and also inferior, right? So this is about the vestibule of the vagina. Then once vestibule is explained, next thing that we need to know is the greater vestibular glands. Greater vestibular glands कहाँ पे रहते हैं? They are located on each side of the vestibule of the vagina. So when I say this part is the vestibule of the vagina, यहाँ और यहाँ, ठीक है? On each side of the vestibule of the vagina, partly covered by the bulbs of the vestibule. Now, you can see in your textbook diagram, there is a diagram called exposure of the superficial perineal pouch to show the greater vestibular glands. Got it? Just next to this external genitalia diagram,
Yes,
this diagram of exposure of superficial perineal pouch, so that you can clearly see the greater vestibular glands, right? So the greater vestibular glands are also called
Bartholin glands. Bartholin glands.
it's also called Bartholin glands. So that means it would be somewhere here, the structure is somewhere here next to the bulb of the vestibule. You can also see a blue shading that is showing the bulb of vestibule. Okay, I'm talking about your textbook diagram, so don't get confused. The textbook diagram that is showing greater vestibular glands, there you can see Bartholin's gland is also mentioned, and also bulb of vestibule, both has been shown. Now the ducts open into the vestibule of the वजाइना. तो ये जो इसके जो डक्ट्स हैं, बार्थोलिन ग्लैंड जो यहाँ पर रहेगा और यहाँ पर है, इनके जो डक्ट है ओपनिंग कहाँ पर है, वेस्टिबल ऑफ द वजाइना ऑन ईच साइड ऑफ द वजाइनल orifice at the junction of anterior 2/3 and posterior 1/3. So almost here you can say. Okay, and this is the place where there is small amount of lubricating mucus that is produced whenever there is a sexual arousal. So Bartholin gland is actually responsible for the production of the lubricating mucus when there is a sexual arousal. Okay, so this is about your external genitalia. एक्सटर्नल जेनिटलिया हम लोगों ने समझ लिया है. कोई डाउट्स है किसी को? कुछ चीजें जो छूट गई हैं वो भी देख लेते हैं. मेजर स्ट्रक्चर्स में से क्लाइटोरस है, दैट वी विल सी हियर. इट इज हियर 2 to 3 centimeter in length. Okay, and when we say homologous means when we say a parallel organ compared to what is there in males. In males, the organ that is there is penis, and in females, the homologous organ is clitoris. Okay, and this organ is an erectile organ. Erectile means it can get perfused with blood supply and it can become erect or hard. Okay, so this is a erectile organ and it is not transversed by the urethra. Okay, urethra यहाँ पर है. It is located posterior to the anterior labial commissure. तो यहाँ पर anterior labial commissure हमने पढ़ा था, right? ये prepuce है, ये रहा clitoris. So this is the part posterior to the anterior labial commissure, and this part is highly sensitive and is very important in the sexual arousal of females. So for this part again is a sensitive area of female external genitalia, and also it is very important part in sexual arousal of a female. Okay, and bulbs of the vestibule, we had seen the bluish shade diagram that were seen in the greater vestibular gland diagram. There you can see bulbs of vestibule. Did you all get the diagram, students? The diagram which shows greater vestibular glands. Bartholin glands आपने देखा है, Bartholin glands के just ऊपर bulbs of the vestibule. ये elongated mass of erectile tissue है, ठीक है. These are large elongated masses of erectile tissue and length is about 3 centimeter long. It lies along the side of the vaginal orifice. So if this is the vaginal orifice, we have seen this is the area where inside the Bartholin gland is present, और ये एरिया यहाँ पर inside, ठीक है. I am talking inside structure. This erectile tissues are present. Now they lie deep to the bulbocavernous muscle and are homologous to the bulb of penis and corpus spongiosum in males. So male reproductive भी जब हम discuss करेंगे, that time we will also see how it is homologous. We are mentioning it as homologous. ठीक है. तो bulb of penis and corpus spongiosum जो है males में, it is when we say it is homologous, means it is parallel to that particular organ or reproductive organ in males. Okay, so that is about your external things. Anything missed out? No, we have completed these. So once the major structures, so if only external genitalia has to be understood, you know the key points, the key parts that have to be described as mons pubis, right? Labia majora, labia minora, clitoris, then vestibule बताना है, bulb of vestibule बताना है, और vestibular glands के बारे में बताना है. And also when you describe, you have to mention about the various things like the prepuce, clitoris we have already mentioned, urethral orifice के relation में how it is located, all that has to be described. So once the structure is described, the next important thing that has to be described in the female reproductive system is what is the blood supply, what is the venous drainage, and what is the nerve supply to this area. Okay, so first talking about the arterial supply. First, when we talk about arterial supply to the vulva. What is vulva now? What do you mean when I say vulva?
Ma'am, external genital organs.
External genitalia.
The external genitalia, organs of
Female reproduction.
female reproductive system is called
Reproductive.
वल्वा, है ना. सो आर्टीरियल सप्लाई जो है इस पूरे एरिया के लिए, वल्वा के लिए जो आर्टीरियल सप्लाई है इज बाय ब्रांचेस ऑफ एक्सटर्नल एंड इंटरनल प्यूडेंडल आर्टरीज. ओके, तो कार्डियोवैस्कुलर सिस्टम में जो आपने ब्रांचेस वगैरह सीखे हैं ब्लड सप्लाई के, तो प्यूडेंडल जो आर्टरीज हैं वो यहाँ इस एरिया को सप्लाई देते हैं, ब्लड सप्लाई. ठीक है. देन देयर आर इंटरनल प्यूडेंडल वेन्स. व्हाट दे वुड डू, दे वुड ड्रेन द वेनस ब्लड फ्रॉम द एक्सटर्नल जेनिटेलिया. Okay, so we have understood arterial supply is the branches of external and internal pudendal arteries, and venous drainage from the area is by internal pudendal veins. Okay, what about the nerve supply? Nerve supply to this area is from ilioinguinal nerve, genitofemoral nerve, and perineal nerve. Okay, these three structures you can remember. These are the structures that are giving the nerve supply. Ilioinguinal, genitofemoral, and perineal nerves are supplying. What about lymphatic drainage? Mainly to the superficial inguinal nodes from the clitoris, lymph drains into deep inguinal lymph nodes, also called glands of Cloquet. Okay, so that is about the lymphatic drainage. So right from the clitoris, the lymph drains into the deep inguinal lymph nodes. Okay, now some of the important things, that is their development of external genitalia. To know about the development of external genitalia, the clitoris develops from the genital tubercle, labia minora from the genital folds, and labia majora from the labioscrotal swelling, and the vestibule from the urogenital sinus. What is this? It is when we talk about the embryological development. No? So these are the parts from where it develops. Okay, now applied anatomy. Now when we talk about applied anatomy, we have understood the structures, but let's see what is the applied anatomy. फर्स्ट थिंग इज वी हैव अंडरस्टूड कि यहाँ पे मैक्सिमम 2.5 सेंटीमीटर का दूरी है एनल ओपनिंग एंड यहाँ के ओपनिंग में 2.5 सेंटीमीटर का दूरी है ना. सो इफ यू सी द अदर थिंग इज if you see the urethral this thing, female urethra can also get easily infected because it is open to the exterior via the vestibule of vagina. So that means there is a risk of infection transferring from here to here, and if there is an infection here, if there is infection in the vagina, what would happen? Very fast the infection can be transferred. It can go into the urethra and the person will suffer from urinary tract infections also. ठीक है, this structure has to be understood. यहाँ पर अगर कोई vaginal infection develop हो गया है तो बहुत आसानी से urethral, और urethral से गया है तो आपको पता है it can go to the renal system also, right? And when we talk about this is also important, students. Whenever the female external genitalia, when you have learnt sponge bath, you have learnt about perineal care, we have explained to you that your cleaning has to be always from this part downwards, never from anal area upwards. If you are cleaning from anal area upwards, you will be pushing the dirt and microorganism from there to the vaginal opening. Okay, so when you are caring for patients also, you have to remember any procedure, always this has to be considered unclean and this is the cleaner portion. ठीक है, तो वो एक अप्लाइड एनाटॉमी है जो याद रखना यूरेथ्रा के बारे में और वेजाइनल ओपनिंग के बारे में. देयर इज अनदर मेंशन ऑफ बार्थोलिन सिस्ट. Bartholin cyst, we know it is Bartholin gland, but what is Bartholin cyst? It is formed when the Bartholin duct itself gets blocked. Okay, so it is one of the common cyst of the vulval region. Vulval region में जो cyst formations होते हैं, and most common reason is gonococcal infections. Okay, gonococcal infections, and it presents as a fluctuant non-tender swelling on inner side of the labia majora. So when it is palpated, you will find a non-tender swelling. Non-tender यानी it is not painful, है ना, non-painful swelling है which is moving. It's not fixed in one place, it is moving. So that itself shows that the Bartholin gland has got blocked, and reason we have seen it is gonococcal infection. As you're learning microbiology, you know about the gonococci, especially contracted by unprotected sex or sexual intercourse. Okay, तो उसमें ये transmit होता है, so that can cause blockage of it and it can totally block and form the Bartholin cyst. So this is about the applied anatomy of your external genitalia that we have studied. Okay, so now after this, let's go to the internal organs. The internal organs we will see now. Internal genital organs. The internal genital organs in females. यानी अब ये कहाँ का पोर्शंस है? ये हमारे शरीर के अंदर का जो रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम है ना, जो हमने पहले देखा वो स्किन के ऊपर जो कुछ स्ट्रक्चर्स दिखाई दे रहे हैं हमने वो देखा है. Now what is beneath it, what is here is discussed in detail. Internal genital organs. In this, the first one that you have to remember in the internal genital organs is vagina, right? There we had known it as the vaginal orifice. We had seen Now we have started with the internal one. So this is vagina is one. Then here you can see the structure of uterus. इसके बारे में हमें समझना है. फिर ये आपके यूट्राइन ट्यूब और ऑल्सो कॉल्ड फेलोपियन ट्यूब. This also, right? And the ovary. This all together would form the internal genital organs. Okay, so this is about the internal genital organs. The list that has to be remembered: vagina, uterus, uterine tube or fallopian tubes, and the ovaries. Now let's see one by one. The first thing that we have to understand, first we'll discuss about the uterus part itself. Here you can see the uterus part that we have mentioned. अभी ये vaginal area है, right? This is the uterus part. The uterus is also called, who will answer? Rashmi Chonkar. Rashmi. यूट्रस के लिए दूसरा जो वर्ड यूज किया है उसका मतलब क्या है? वर्ड क्या है? This part. What is the other word used for it? Hystera. ठीक है, इसलिए जब आप सुनते हो यूट्रस रिमूवल, द सर्जरी इज कॉल्ड hysterectomy, surgical removal of the uterus. So uterus is actually a Latin word that is that would be denoting womb, or the other word is hystera. Okay, now let us understand about this part, uterus. Now see the shape of it. These are things, students, you have already studied. We are actually reviewing, I should say. The uterus is a thick walled. You can see the wall, and then pear-shaped shape of a pear. Then hollow, because it is hollow from within. Muscular organ. Okay. So when you describe about uterus, these all keywords have to be mentioned. Okay. These keywords include: uterus is a pear-shaped, thick-walled, hollow, क्योंकि यहाँ सब खाली है, hollow, muscular organ. Okay. This is the description of it. And where is it situated? Rajni, where is this situated?
Ma'am, pelvic cavity.
Very good. It is situated in the pelvic cavity.
Pelvic
right?
cavity.
And इसके आगे क्या होता है? इसके just आगे कौन सा structure है anatomically?
Urinary bladder.
Very good. Front you will find urinary bladder, and is uterus के पीछे posteriorly is the rectum. Okay. तो फ्रंट में यूरिनरी ब्लैडर रहेगा और पीछे रेक्टम है. क्लियर? सो इट हैज थिक मस्कुलर वॉल्स एंड अ स्मॉल सेंट्रल कैविटी. हॉलो है तो दैट वी आर मेंशनिंग इट एज देयर इज थिक muscular wall, and here you see small central cavity. Okay, now let us understand the whole dimensions of the uterus. The dimensions of uterus, when we say the whole length, when we mention, The whole length is 7 to 8 centimeter long. Okay, 7 to 8 centimeter long. And when we talk about wide, how wide it is 5. Wide जब हम बोलते हैं, it is this dimension. ठीक है, इधर से यहाँ तक. The maximum would be 5 to 7 centimeter wide. And when we talk about how thick it is, 2 to 3 centimeter thick, and weight is around 30 to 40 grams. ठीक है, तो we'll stop here students, otherwise वो सारा एकदम आपका mix-up हो जाएगा portions. We'll quickly review. हमने इंटरनल जेनिटल ऑर्गन्स के बारे में जो पार्ट सीखा है. When we talk about reproduction, let's start from the starting only. Key points to remember when we talk about female reproductive system. Why is it important? Because all the sex hormones, that is estrogen, progesterone, that is responsible for production of eggs, sustaining of pregnancy, all that is done in the female reproductive system. Next important thing is it produces egg, ova. And when we talk about reproduction in animals, and we talk about reproduction in human being, the female produces the egg. Then next is फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम का इम्पोर्टेंस है क्योंकि ये एक बढ़ते हुए एम्ब्रियो को, दैट मीन्स विच इज अ फर्टिलाइज्ड एग, है ना, इज कॉल्ड अ एम्ब्रियो. हाउ इज द एग फर्टिलाइज्ड? एग एंड द स्पर्म comes together when the fertilization process happens and then is the embryo formed. But embryo बनने के बाद उसे support करना, उसे protect करना फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम में खास करके यूट्रस का रोल है. बट यस, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट इम्पोर्टेंस वी कैन टॉक इन कॉमन कि हाँ इनका इम्पोर्टेंस इसलिए है. एंड गिव बर्थ टू न्यू बेबी, दैट ऑल्सो द इम्पोर्टेंस इज seen in female reproductive system. Okay, major organs, when we overall speak about it, the major organs to remember is cervix, right, vagina, then ovaries, fallopian tube and uterus. And here also in this structure you can see in the female anatomical structure where it is placed, that is all shown. cervix हम अभी डिटेल में जाएंगे. वजाइना हमने, हाँ, एक्सटर्नल जेनिटालिया के बारे में जब हम बात करते हैं, इसमें वल्वा के बारे में हमने डिस्कस किया, लेबिया मजोरा. वल्वा पूरे इस एरिया को हम कहते हैं, राइट. फिर हमने डिस्कस किया कि लेबिया मजोरा इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड ग्रेटर लिप्स, राइट. देन लेबिया माइनोरा के बारे में सीखा, क्लाइटोरस के बारे में हमने देखा. This full structure we had understood how the various structures are placed and how you would describe it. External, इसमें हमने urethral orifice और external urinary opening के बारे में भी देखा. When we compare it to the clitoris, where is the urethral opening? Okay. Then opening of the vagina is separate from the urinary opening and located below, that also we have seen. Now hymen is mentioned in your books also. Hymen is a thin crescentic fold of tissue. Okay, a thin fold of tissue which partially covers the opening of the vagina. तो इसके ऊपर एक thin fold of tissue होता है. And there are a lot of myths related to it where they say if the hymen is not intact, then the female is not virgin. Okay, so you cannot call it as 100% rule out, because now the reason is females also get involved in sports, females also get involved in all active work, so you cannot say कि hymen बिल्कुल intact रहेगा. Okay, so it is no longer considered to be 100% proof of female virginity. तो हाइमन के बारे में उम्मीद याद रखना. मैं इसीलिए बोल रही हूँ क्योंकि आई थिंक लास्ट मंथ ऑल्सो आई read a news where there was a mention that the female was ostracized, or she was removed out from the clan or the community, because the first day when there is intercourse, that is the marriage has to be consumed, that time they were expecting that blood has to be seen. If the hymen is or not present, then there is not going to be any blood spill or anything. So agar blood is not seen post consummation of marriage, the female is being blamed कि she is not virgin and she was being removed from that particular community कि virgin नहीं है. तो प्लीज़ इस चीज़ को अपडेट कर लो अगर किसी के दिमाग में ऐसी कोई बात है, क्योंकि आजकल हम बाइक भी चलाते हैं, साइकिल भी चलाते हैं, खेलते भी हैं, everything happens. So not necessary that the thin layer will be seen, or there won't like you would expect a blood spill because of the tearing of that layer. That may not happen. So that is not 100% proof of female virginity. Okay, so we'll stop our class here.
मैम क्लास लीव कर दें।